Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Howdy all, Red O'Loughlin here. I'm a researcher. I research the human body at the cellular level. Chemically speaking, I look for cause and effect relationships. Treat a cause, fix a problem, treat symptoms, and you'll always be treating symptoms. I'm a writer, speaker, publisher, TV host. I do a lot of things, and today I'm on the TV host part of my hat that I wear. And today we're in the Wise Ones on the USA Global TV and Radio Network, and my guest today is Jean Kuhn. She's an author, a speaker, a strategist, a business consultant, very successful in many aspects of her life. We're going to have a chance to learn some real world-class information today. So Jean, please join me up here on stage.
Hi, Red. Thank you for having me.
You know, I was in the process of looking for people, and most of the time I find them on LinkedIn or I find them through some other organization. And I gave a call to a good friend of ours, Jeff Klein, because he owns a network called Speakers Co-op, I think. I've known him for probably 10 years or more. And I said, hey, I need somebody. And this is what it is. And he says, well, I'm busy today. I'm actually going to be on another show. And he says, I have somebody for you. And you were the person he had for me. And boom. So, you know, networking around, things happen. And I'm sure I'm going to see Jeff, I think, is scheduled for next week this time. But the networking in the world, we're marketing ourselves out there. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But when we're networking and marketing, we have a product that we promise to deliver, and hopefully that product is the actual thing that we're looking for. Our expectations are being met. So let's get back into it. One thing I found really interesting was that one of the little lines in your story says, you became a mom and an entrepreneur at the same time.
Exactly.
So tell us that story.
I didn't know it at the time, right? But the moment that nurse put that first baby in my arms, I knew I was not going back to a job I hated. And I hated my job like I was getting paid to hate it. And when it changed everything, right? That first baby changed everything. And I was probably one of the first telecommuters, because this was 1985. And my company wanted me to come back in the worst way. And I said no. And they offered and did put a computer in my house, which took like 2 days to do. And then with dial-up, 5,000 baud dial-up modem, and which like it took forever to connect, right? When we think about speed now, back in 1985, yeah, that was a pain.
Well, you bring back some memories there with the dial-up modems, because that definitely was an interesting time in our world with regard to computers. Mainframes were kind of the vogue in the business, portable computer, what do they call it? The laptop. Wasn't even a laptop. It was a dumb monitor that you were hooked up to some system, and it was it was an interesting world back then. So you had a healthy baby, you had a healthy start with the company you were with, and then what happened?
I still was working with the same company I did not like, right? And I only did it because they made me a contractor, paid me a little bit more money. And after a year, I had literally had it with dragging the baby over to where I needed to go. And I saw an ad in the paper that said hiring supervisors. And I'm like, I'm supervisor material. So I went and had that interview. And what it was an interview for a home party plan, and called Christmas Around the World. And that's, oh my gosh, that was so long ago. And I got involved with that, was super successful in that. Won so many trips that I couldn't even begin to count how much money I made. And then that company ended up going out of business. And then I started my own party plan company.
Okay, so you kind of evolved into being a business guru by doing it yourself.
Mhm.
What were some of the early lessons learned, that success and failure that you now use as part of your consulting?
I think the biggest lesson I first made, or the first that I first learned, was as an entrepreneur, you are literally going to make 25 cents an hour, right, when you first start. And that's really what it was after I stopped working for the company where I was getting a paycheck and started working for myself. It was a lot of, I learned the lesson that if you build it, they do not come. That was the biggest lesson I learned. You better tell people. If you build something, you better tell them. So marketing became my friend.
Okay, so when did you become an author?
In around 2011, I wrote my first book. I had bought two bankrupt franchises, and I wrote a book basically called F Ups, Franchisee Screw Ups, and it was literally my story of buying that first bankrupt business and everything I learned from it because I did everything wrong. The guy who sold it to me did not did told me I didn't have to get permission from the company to buy it. If you know anything about franchises, they're pretty particular about who they choose as a franchisee. And I said, well, what if they don't accept me? And he's like, then it's Jean's candy store. And I for 3 months, they didn't know I owned that store until we actually were approved by them. So it was long, long lessons, but I did everything wrong. In business is so messy for me. I have done every single thing wrong, and yet because I never quit, still make a lot of money.
Okay, so the business was bankrupt. You bought it, but even though you bought a bankrupt business, they still had to approve you owning the business. That sounds almost counterintuitive.
Doesn't it? Well, because it was still a franchise operation. He owned it. He'd only made $5,000 profit the year before, right? I'm sorry, in that my mind, that's bankrupt if you've got a brick and mortar, right? He had a manager in place running it. So she did not do a really great job. She did a good job of getting it opened, but not a good job of keeping people coming in. And when I took it over, it had no product in there. What product they did have was icky looking. And I knew when I walked in the door, like, hey, all I have to do is stock this store and it should be successful. And 2 weeks in, I found myself sitting on an upside down milk crate in the back room, the kitchen, bawling my eyes out, like that sort of crying. And I had tears and snot running down my nose. And I thought I just made the biggest mistake of my life because I had 3 kids. And I thought, oh crap, I took out a loan on the dream home we had just built and paid for in cash. And I thought, I'm going to lose our home, or I could possibly lose our home. Our kids are not going to go to college. I had all of these really negative thoughts running through my head. And after about 20 minutes of a really good pity party, I pulled myself together, still with puffy eyes. I pulled myself together and I thought, I had a plan, right? Where's the plan? Why are you not working the plan? And I got up off my milk crate and went to work.
Okay, so you accept what you had,
Hmm.
took care of the emotional aspects of it,
Yep.
said bye to the negative thoughts.
Yep.
So obviously, owning a business is a major mind shift from working for somebody else to working for yourself. How do
Yes.
people transition successfully?
I will tell you that it took me a long time, right? I mean, I had some success, right? Buying that first bankrupt business is 2021 was 2020, I'm sorry, 2002 is when I bought that first bankrupt business. And I decided I could either have fun in this business or I'm going to have to hang it up because it was really hard not getting paid. It was really hard not just paying the employees and the rent and the overhead. That was hard. We were literally breaking even for the first couple months. And I'm like, if this is my life now till my lease runs out, I damn well better have fun at it. And so I decided that I'm just going to enjoy the ride. If I make money, great. If I don't, okay, when my lease is up, I'm out of here. And I had so much fun with the marketing and creating, I call them unique, crazy ass marketing strategies that I created for myself, which is what I turned that business around in 12 months then and added 100,000 to the bottom line. And after I did that, then I was looking for another opportunity and found another same franchise, but another bankrupt business just 30 minutes down the street. And I bought that one, did the same thing.
Okay, so you bought over a period of time 2 bankrupt businesses,
Yep.
made some serious money from them, became
Yep.
happy, had fun, and now you do this almost as a business consultant, helping
Mhm.
others to understand that, yeah, these things, even though there's an emotional attachment to the transition, uh, fun is there if you just look for it.
You have to look for it, right? Because it is not fun. Business is messy and it's hard some days. And I always tell people, look, you should do anything else other than being a business owner, really. And if you're going to be a business owner, you better have the right mindset and you better know how to have fun. And here's, you know, they don't realize that marketing can be free. I had to create really free marketing strategies in 2020, in 2002, right? Nobody had a list, right? Nobody had for the most part, most businesses were just starting to get websites. I didn't have a website. I didn't have a list. And I only borrowed enough money from the bank to buy that business and close. I didn't give myself any revenue for marketing. And that was a big mistake. But going forward, it turned out okay because I was creative and I would just create fun little things like I came we have a store, and I don't know if it's all over the country or where you're at, but there's a store called Kohl's. Do you know about Kohl's store? It's a department store. Kohl's, Kohls.
Oh, Coles, yes, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, so they do something called Kohl's Cash. So I created my own version of Kohl's Cash. So with Kohl's Cash, you buy it at a certain time and then you can redeem, they give you free money and then you can redeem it at a certain time. Well, I took that idea and I created something called Apple Bucks because my chocolate stores did a significant amount of caramel apples every year, as well as the other chocolates and fudge and things like that. But apples were one of our big sellers. And I created Apple Bucks. So when in October, which was our busiest month of the year, I would give out Apple Bucks. And then in November, which was our second slowest month of the year, that's when they were able to redeem them. And when I did that, my sales skyrocketed in November because people brought their Apple Bucks back and turned them in same as cash, but they always bought so much more. I raised my sales 30% over the previous year just by doing that and nothing else. It's not like I was running ads or once in a while I'd run an ad if I had money. But it wasn't like I was running consistent advertising. I was just doing things to bring people in. Constant contact was another big piece for me. I heard about that in like 2003 or 2004. And I got a constant contact account because I like to write, but I like to write for one reason. I only like to write to amuse myself. So if it's not fun, if it's not funny, I kind of have a sassy attitude. So everything I write is kind of sassy. And I had the most fun writing that, but inviting people in and putting my own coupons in my newsletter. So that when they got it, they wanted to come back in. There was a reason for them to come back in. But can I share a lesson with you that I learned from this?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I learned 5 things about email marketing. Number 1, you have to have a great subject line. And I'm going to tell you a little story. I was unsubscribing from somebody's newsletter it was a couple of years ago. And I pulled up all of her emails and I was just getting ready to unsubscribe and get rid of all of them in one click. And the first email that was popped up there was the subject line was, well, slap my ass and call me Sally. And I thought, oh my God, that is the best subject line I have ever read on any email. This is still into 2020s, right? Probably 2021, 2022, I read that, right? Best email subject line ever. Got me to open that email. She was offering an Instagram course. It got me to reach out to her. Of course, it ended yesterday, right? I reached out, said, hey, can I still get in on that? And I didn't hear from her for a few days. So I've moved on. Like, I wanted to know about Instagram for like 30 seconds. And after I didn't hear from her, I moved on. And then about 4 days later, I got an email back saying, yes, you can. Here's how you do it, blah, blah, blah. But I've moved on, right? I work fast. I implement fast. I do everything fast. So I didn't respond. And about 4 weeks later, about 2 weeks later, I saw a Facebook post on her Facebook that said, what do you do with people when they ask you for something, they tell you they're unsubscribing from your newsletter, and then you give them permission to join this, and then they never contact you again, right? They ghost you. That bitch did blah, blah, blah. And that's what she was calling me. I'm like, oh my gosh, right? Number one, that gave me a really good insight on how to act, right? Make sure you respond to people when they respond to you. But it was such a great lesson for me, because her and I have ended up collaborating on a lot of projects, and I love her like a dear friend. So I didn't take offense to it, but she's right. I kind of maybe was a little bit that. She was probably right. But yeah, so that's number one, a great subject line. Number two is put something personal in your email, right? It starts your email with some sort of little story. It doesn't have to be more than 2 or 3 sentences, but what it does have to be is it has to be interesting. And then you can take this where you want to go with it. And when I started doing this, and listen, if you're shopping, if you subscribe to Best Buy or your grocery store or whatever's around, businesses around you, nobody does this. Macy's does not do this. Any place I've seen, they do not do this. They don't connect with their customer. And that was my whole piece there, was how can I connect with the customer? And I was able to do it within 2 or 3 sentences by just sharing a little piece of my life. And there's a lot of different ways to connect with people, whether it be, I connected when my daughter worked in that store. And when she graduated college as a nurse, I put her in a picture of her in her cap and gown. Everybody knew her in my newsletter. And I told the little story that she's now going to be a nurse. And I had a mother from Tennessee. I'm from Chicago. I had a mother from Tennessee reach out to me to tell me how about her daughter, who was a nurse, but had to leave for a semester to give birth to twin baby girls. And it was just meaningful to me that somebody took the time to reach back out to me, because she wanted to connect with me on a mother-to-mother basis, not on a business to consumer basis, right? She was connecting on a different level. And that's really so important as a business owner.
Okay, so we covered a couple of items there. You said 5, and we're going to get to the other ones.
Okay.
Here in about a minute, a little over a minute, we're going to have a commercial break. So just give you kind of a heads up.
Okay.
And the topic that I want to finish on the other side of the break is anything left on the last 3 of the email marketing tips that are of immense value, which right now I think we're really going down a good path. But I want to get into the low cost, no cost marketing
Strategies?
Strategy. That's the word. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and have a break here, literally in about 10, 20 seconds. Then we're going to come back, finish up the last 3 items on the email marketing, and then kind of go off into the low cost, no cost marketing strategy. So with that, we're going to go ahead and have our marketing end of things today.
In a world craving connection, one platform dared to dream bigger. USA Global TV and Radio, a beacon for global voices, authentic storytelling, and elevated listening. Led by visionary Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, the journey from a spark to a global force is now captured in one inspiring book. Honored with YouTube's Silver Creator Award for surpassing 100,000 subscribers. Discover the evolution, the challenges, the triumphs, and the unstoppable spirit that created a global movement. Executive producer Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang. Creative director Paul Garcia. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication, or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Howdy, all. Rebel Laughlin here. We're on the Wise Ones on USA Global TV and Radio Network. Today, my guest is Jean Kuhn. She's an author, a speaker, a strategist, a business consultant, franchise owner in the past, mother, lots of things. But just before break, we were going over 5 things that she thought were absolutely mandatory success tips for email marketing campaigns. So, Jean, please join me back up on stage, and let's go ahead and go now with number 3.
Number 3. Well, number 3 is content, right? You still want to put content in there. You still need to educate people about what you do and how you do it and why this is the right problem for you. You still have to solve the problem. And let me tell you, not a lot of people who buy chocolate have a problem. So I had to create other ways to get them into the store by enticing them there. So that's where I would put different specialty items that we would make for the holidays and things like that they might enjoy. Number 4 is something extra. Like, I always found a way to put something extra in there. I used, most of it was recipes. So I would just go to allrecipes.com. I would look for a recipe that contained chocolate, whether it be a chocolate dessert, a chocolate drink, whatever it was that contained chocolate. And I would change one thing in the recipe. And I always gave allrecipes.com credit, but I would change one thing. And instead of saying milk chocolate or dark chocolate, I would just use the brand that we sold, milk chocolate or dark chocolate. So just a way to make it a piece of my own. And then number 5 is call to action. If you're writing a newsletter, you should have a call to action on and I'm talking about small business owners, maybe solopreneurs. Best Buy does a really good job of getting and showing you any product you want to see and telling you how much it costs and if it's on sale or not, right? As small business owners or service-based businesses, we don't have that kind of relationship with our customer. We have, what do we need them to do next? Do we need them to join our list? Do we need them to click? Do we need them to buy? We have to give them that next step, and only one step at a time. And that's my 5 or 6 things on that. Yeah.
Thank you, Jean. That some of those I've heard before, but when you start adding the little personal thing here, a couple other, that is something that separates, I do an email list, to somebody that's a level above that, which gets us into our next topic, which is marketing. I found that as an author and a lot of other authors that I've had on the Corner Bookstore, the show before this one, is that we know how to write. We don't know how to publish. We may know how to edit and do a few other things, but one of the things that's almost standard is we do not know how to market.
Right.
And we can spend a lot of money for advertising, for marketing, whatever, but we don't know if that money is going to give us a decent ROI or anything else. So you have a strategy called low cost / no cost marketing. Let's talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, well, these are the same strategies I use to turn around these businesses. So I have 5 low cost marketing strategies that I'd love to give your audience if you'd like to have them.
Okay, let's see if we can do that quickly.
Okay, it's just jeansfreegift.com.
And that's on your website?
It's not on my website. It's just, they just type that in, jeansfreegift.com. And they'll be able to get those 5 no-cost marketing strategies.
Okay, hang on one second. Jeans, plural, free, gifts, plural.
Gifts is not plural. Jeans Free Gift.
So jeansfreegift.com.
Yeah.
That Jean is JEANS for the audio audience that will be following up with this. Okay, fantastic. Yeah. But I noticed on your website, you do have some freebies that you do give away. You have a free action guide. And then you had a list of success tips as I was doing some research earlier.
Yeah, I do. Um, so what can I answer there? What's that next thing I need to tell you? I'm sorry.
Okay,
Got
so
caught.
the low cost, no cost is really part of the free gift that we can go find ourselves.
Yeah,
That's available out there. Uh,
right.
and the uh, low cost, no cost is something that works with just about any kind of entrepreneur, solopreneur, small business.
Right. Exactly. And they're just little success tips, things I've learned over time. I probably, like I said, everything I've ever done was hard and messy and not perfect to start with. And I think that's the one big piece. I was a perfectionist when I started. And you know what I call perfectionist now?
No.
Broke.
Ah,
Right? Because if you don't get it done and get it done fast, you're not making any money, right? You spend too much time kind of hemming and hawing and processing what you need to do. Is it going to be the right thing? No, I just go for it. I throw it out there, and if it doesn't work, it's great. I'll just change it and do something else, which is how I ran those two businesses, right?
is that also known as analysis paralysis?
It is. It is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Part of my brain loves to live in that world, but that's what I do for a living. And when I research stuff is analyze. But anyway, getting back to the business world of things, the successes that you've seen, you've been able now to take and hang that consultant uh, shingle outside of your business. Uh, Tell us one or two success stories you've had with your clients.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna tell you about my favorite client right now. Well, I love all my clients. Seriously, I have to fall in love with them in order to help them. I don't know why, I just do. I just love them. But I have a client right now. She started with me in 2020 when we had to do our very first virtual event. She's an estate planning attorney who's in the South Side Chicago area, and she was making about $500,000. And by the end of the first 12 months that we worked together, I got her over 1 million. She was at $1,014,000, and the next year she was at 1.1, and the next year she was at 1.2, and last year she went from one. She was supposed to hit 1.3, but she went to 1.6. So I said to her, I think this is the year that we go for 2 million. She is right now, the first 4 months of the year, she is on track to hit $2 million this year. She has a goal. She knows what the goal is every single day. She makes sure that they bring in, if they don't bring it in, we've got a little sneaky backup plan that she can bring, how to bring in a couple extra bucks if she needs to, with like specials and things. But we don't really want to do that with an attorney. We don't want them to be discounting their services. So we only use it with text, right? We're texting certain people that we know might need it, maybe can't afford it, but could afford a discounted price. So she's on track to do 2 million. I worked with a horse farmer in Southeast Wisconsin who was making $20,000 profit when I started working with her. And after that, she was over almost close to $500,000 when we stopped working together. Who's that? These are what my stories are like over and over. I had a beekeeper I was working with, and she was selling honey. And the most money between she and her husband that they had ever made together was $40,000. In her first year working with me, she did $90,000, and she was divorced. That was for her on her own. So that's the kind of stories that I have. I'm always looking for creative ways that they can market their business and be different than their competition. Because if you're marketing just like your competition, you absolutely do not stand out from the crowd.
Okay, so that's a major lesson learned. If you're doing everything identically to your competition, nobody sees you. You're not above the grass. You're not tall enough to be seen.
Right.
So as a strategist, you go in there and you look around. You do a competitor analysis. You look at the way other people are doing it, so you know what to change.
I wish it was that particular, but honestly, I do believe that this was kind of like a divinely given gift that I have, because I have the ability to put myself in I haven't found a client yet. I haven't found a client yet that I cannot put myself in their ideal client's shoes, so I know what the problems they have, so I know how to help them solve that problem. And I don't know how I know how to do all of that. Probably being a business owner for the last 40 years. As a matter of fact, Tuesday of this week was my 40th anniversary of being an entrepreneur, which means I have a 40-year-old son.
I was just getting ready to comment about that. So
So
I know I walk into a business sometimes. I say, why is this the way it is? And then I have this compulsion that if something's not right, I tell people it's not right. And my wife sometimes gets on me about that. They can't improve the quality of their service if they don't know something's not working right. And so it doesn't matter whether it's a restaurant or a store. If I see something that doesn't look right, I comment on it. And sometimes you come back in later, sometimes you don't. I don't know whether they take it to the bank and make changes, but it's free. And if I'm walking and I don't know anything about it, why not tell somebody so they can improve? So it sounds like you have that gift on steroids.
I kind of do, right? I kind of do. But I do that for myself too. As a strategist or a business consultant, I have to stand out. There's a lot of competition out there. COVID made everybody a coach. Did anybody notice that besides me? Right? COVID made everyone a coach. And so I'm not a coach. I'm a strategist and I'm a consultant because I'm not going to make you figure it out, Red. I'm just going to tell you what the hell you need to do and how you need to do it. And you better do it fast because wealth rewards speed.
Okay, you mentioned something a brief moment ago. You've done email marketing in the past and had some really good ways to improve.
Yeah.
Then you kind of slid in this word called texting. Are you using texting now as a marketing strategy?
No, I'm not. And I'm not using social media either, right? I do not use social. That is not one you're going to ever hear me talk about that we need to be doing more of. Social media is so noisy, right? There's really the only way people are standing or trying to stand out is by annoying other people now. Like they'll send you that message that says, "Hey, Red, nice to meet you. How are you doing today?" And you're like, "Who are you?" Right? Or do you need to buy my product? I love when they send me weight loss products, right? They're like, "Hey, I have a weight loss product that would help you." And I'm like, "Why does my weight bother you?" Right? And by the way, do I want to do business with somebody who basically just called me fat? I do not. Right? So,
Yeah, I see a lot, particularly on LinkedIn. I get a message in. Here I am, I can save the world, and I have no idea in the world who these people are, but they live in some country that's 12 time zones away, and they don't know me from Adam, and why? And then the other thing that I really find, it's not irritating, it's just an observation, is that I really want to get in touch. Okay, I want to get in touch with Jean today. I can't find her phone number anywhere. It's not on her website. It's not on her social media. It's nowhere. You're in business. How do people get in touch with you? Oh, you sign up on a calendar. Well, I need to talk to you now. I don't need to talk to you next week when you have 20 minutes free. I need to talk to you now. Give me an email. Give me some method. But it's amazing the number of business people out there who have really good websites, but they rely on something that's not going to bother them immediately. And I loved it when I found, we were getting ready to do the show, and okay, don't know what's going on. Let me give Jean a call real quick. I'd seen her phone number earlier, so I knew it was there. But it's amazing the number of websites that don't have, or even social media that don't have a way to reach somebody. So it's just crazy. But if you're in the marketing game, you need to be visible, as you say. You need to stand out.
I think if you're in the business game, right, you need to do that. And how many people do you call that they give you their phone number maybe, but then when you call them, they don't know that you're who you are, so they don't answer their phones, right? Oh man, that is my one big pet peeve, right? If you're going to be in business and you're out there, I want you to have my phone number. I want you to have my email address. I'll give you my damn home address if you want it, right? I know you're not coming to my door. It's just about being real, being authentic, telling people how you help them, and being accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you just said was absolutely perfect. Because 2 weeks ago, I was on a video networking thing, and I told somebody I think they'd be great as a guest on one of my shows. And then I follow up. I send, a phone message, a text, and they didn't answer because they didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
And well, they knew that I had sent them something, and I signed it red. How many reds do you know? And then next week I see them on the deal. Well, I didn't know, and it's just, again, you hit the nail on the head. Is you have to be visible, and you have to be responsive, and you have to be quick. So that being said, what else in one sentence is there super critical for business owners to do?
Super critical for business owners to do. Lead with your heart. I think it's leading with your heart, doing what you said you're going to do, the way you said you're going to do it. That comes right from my friend and mentor, Larry Wingett. Do what you say you're going to do, when you said you're going to do it, the way you said you're going to do it. If you can do those things and lead with your heart and put other people's what they need ahead of your own, right? And that's how I run my business. It's like, if you've ever read the book, and I'm sure you have read The Go-Giver by Bob Berg, The 5 Laws of Stratospheric Success, the number one law is give more in value than you take in payment, right? Lead with your heart. And that's exactly what I do. I lead with my heart. I take it seriously when people pay me money, right? I take it seriously.
Okay, we're at the end of the show. Who's an ideal client for you, and how do they get in touch with you?
My ideal client is business women over 50 who are in their second act of life and business. I didn't really start this business till I was over 53, and when I reinvented myself in 2012. So going from a mom and a small brick and mortar business owner to a 53-year-old who was literally recreating herself. So that's who my ideal client is.
And how do they reach you?
They can find me at jean@jeankuhn.com, or that's my email address, or they can go to jeankuhn.com and find my website. I'm sure my phone number is on there. It's right there at the top of the page, right?
Okay, for our audio audience, it's Jean, Jean, Kuhn, Kuhn.com. So Jean@jeankuhn.com. Again, JeanKuhn.com. Jean, thank you so very much today. I really appreciate it. I learned a few things myself and that's always a good day when I'm always in a continuous learning mode, and pick up a few things. And thank you so very much. I appreciate that. And I'm definitely going to check out jeansfreegift.com because I want to know.
Awesome.
So go with that. And thank you very much for being very responsive to getting on the show. We just met this week, and I look forward to us connecting again.
I hope so. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye now. This is the conclusion of the Wise Ones here on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. Today we talked to Jean Kuhn, author, speaker, strategist, business consultant. Great lessons learned today in a variety of things. So please, if you want to recommend the show to somebody else, go to YouTube and USA Global TV, and you can find our playlist there and send a copy of the link to them. I'm Red O'Loughlin. I'm a researcher, author, writer, speaker, TV host, publisher. I do a number of things. One of the things I do in my research business is I research the human body at the cellular level, chemically speaking. What causes things to happen? If I do this, can I speed it up? Can I slow it down? Can I stop it completely? And if it's something that leads to disease, maybe that's super important that we slow it down or stop it. Anyway, those are the things that I do. I'm not a doctor, never been in the medical field. I'm a researcher. My first love is chemistry, and I love getting involved with that stuff. So the next show coming up in about 21 minutes is called Talking Heads. And today I'm talking about retirement health. Do you have a plan B? Is there something out there that you can be doing today, whether you're 35, 45, 55, or 75, that will make a difference in your ability to truly enjoy retirement life and do at least some of the things, maybe not all of them, but at least some of the things that you intended to do 20, 30 years ago when you say, I can't wait till I get to retirement. With that being said, Red O'Loughlin checking off, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Bye now.
Ever dreamed of hosting your own TV show, sharing your story with a global audience? Now's your chance to shine. At USA Global TV and Radio, we make it easy for you to create, host, and broadcast your very own TV show. Whether you're a storyteller, entrepreneur, or industry expert, we help you bring your vision to life. With our exclusive interview, live streaming, and podcasting training, you'll gain the skills and confidence to captivate your audience. Our global platform ensures your voice is heard worldwide. Join our community of creators who are already making an impact, one show at a time. Step into the spotlight. Host your own TV show on USA Global TV and Radio. Book your discovery call today at usaglobaltv.com. Copyright 2025 USA Global TV and Radio. All rights reserved. Terms and conditions apply. To learn more, visit usaglobaltv.com.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents our partner and sponsor, Mr. Philip Sykes and the British School of Excellence. Building confidence, changing lives. And now, proudly presenting the Polished Professional.
On a transformative journey with the British School of Excellence's comprehensive suite of masterclasses, crafted to elevate your professional and personal life. 8 outstanding modules will elevate you to the next level. Module 1, Exploring Life's Purpose, delves into the depths of self-discovery, guiding you to chart your unique path to fulfillment and success. Module 2, Mastering Professional Presence and Confidence. This masterclass is a deep dive into the art of self-assurance and commanding presence, which is essential for standing out in today's competitive landscape. Module 3, Learn the secrets of visual impact, how to curate a personal style that amplifies your professional brand. Module 4, Mastering Professional Etiquette and Communication Excellence, navigating the nuances of corporate interaction with grace and tact. Module 5, Elegance in Eloquence. We impart powerful techniques to captivate and persuade any audience with your oratory skills. Module 6, Unlock the potential of your emotional intelligence, EQ, and harness the ability to connect, empathize, and lead with emotional savvy. Module 7, Mastering DISC, building a gateway to understanding behavioral styles, fostering better personal and professional relationships. Module 8, Mastery in Dining Etiquette, building your confidence to perfect the subtleties of dining with finesse, enhancing your social savviness at any table. Step into the Polished Professional program where poise, elegance, and excellence aren't just taught, they're instilled for life. Join us to redefine your potential and polish your professional edge.
To learn more, go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. The British School of Excellence are investors in people. Let us invest in you.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honored to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USAGlobalTV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by executive producer and director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.